Hi everyone. Sorry to start the video on a bit of a downer, but I do feel the need to do this. This chap here, Chris Schofield, he is a senior developer at What Culture. Sure you've all seen What Culture. And yesterday he posts this up on my Twitter. Nice to see at HeelvsBabyface diversify his talents. And look at... Really? Is this meant to be funny? Because I really find it upsetting that people come onto TwitTwat and they just poke fun at others, you know, and they don't realise the harm that it could really do. God damn, I look good in silver. I mean, the harm that it does and how people can take things personally and it can really get to them and make them feel bad. Ah, shit. Hi everyone, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface. Thank you, Chris, for that tweet. Found it highly amusing. A few days ago, I did a video about this Ooblets game. Tiny little game created by two people that I'd never even heard of. Not until I woke up one morning and my Twitter feed had blown up with a lot of people chatting about it. And what were they chatting about? They were chatting about a statement that the company had released. That their small little Animal Crossing Pokemon-esque type of game that was going to come out sometime was now going to become an Epic Game Store exclusive. Now, superficially, what's wrong with that? I mean, they're a two-person band. They're going to get a much better cut of profits if they went with Epic, because Epic charged 12% as opposed to Steam's 35%, somewhere around that kind of margin, maybe more. And also, because Epic Game Store is much smaller at the moment than Steam, they're going to get better exposure, which will lead to, hopefully, better sales for the product and allow a tiny little developer to either work more on the game, producing more content for the future, or just producing the game that they've always wanted to create with it, or maybe even looking to the future, more projects for them to work on. So I could initially, by that, understand why they would choose to do so. As ever, though, there are obstacles in the way. Number one, they have a Patreon set up, and they have approximately 1,100 patrons. So they have this audience which has been funding the project. I don't know if it's completely funding or partially funding. And suddenly they're being told if you want it on PC, the only way that you can get it is from Epic as opposed to Steam. If people want it on Xbox One, they're okay. Which is going to cause some issues, as we've seen in the past. And the statement that they released announcing that they were going to go onto the Epic Game Store as an exclusive, which was very patronising and condescending and at times aggravating people out there. People who say this is written lightheartedly are being dishonest. To fit a narrative. You can easily tell where this starts to get provocative. I mean, the first bit is just weird. I mean, you're talking about flossing and then Karl Marx. I mean, why? I don't know. But within the first block, you've already gotten to the first bit where you're starting to poke the bear. Epic paying for PC exclusives has become the latest thing gamers have gotten angry about. So they're all saying, oh, gamers, they're just a bunch of angry people looking for something to get mad about. Poke the bear, poke the bear, poke the bear. The last thing you want to do in a situation like this is poke the bear. You just want to be completely open and refreshing with people. You just want to say, hey, look, we're two people. This is the honest fact of the matter is. We're two people. This is going to be an unbelievable cash injection to our company. It's going to allow us to create the game that we've always wanted to create for you, the gamer. Our vision is going to be realised thanks to this move, which we wouldn't be able to do if we went to Steam or other platforms. Also, it's going to allow us to hopefully either build onto the game or build some other great stuff for you in the future. And we won't be able to do this unless we take this deal here. So we understand, because you've got to get empathetic, we understand that it's going to be a bit of a blow to some people, but in the same breath, it's going to make a better game, a better product all around. So please support us with this. We're only 2 people, and we want the ability to grow and create better, bigger and better things for you in the future. That's what they needed to do. Not start writing about angry gamers, he says, getting angry. And I get angry not because of the gaming aspect of me. I'm getting angry due to the marketing side of me and the sales side of me, which I used to do way before I did any of this YouTube, because I have to deal with all these stupid people making stupid comments like this, which are poking the bear. And that's not how you get people on your side. That's not how you get people to listen and be attentive. It's how you close people off and how you start to get them aggravated. We then also have some disingenuous nature to this article, potentially an out-and-out lie, because the very first line is everyone keeps talking about this epic thing, so we thought we'd see what it's all about, which says to me, we never heard of this epic thing. People kept telling us about this epic store business that they will take, less, you'll get bigger cut for you, they'll take less, you'll get better exposure because of it being a bit smaller than the others. Oh, so we decided to check it out. However, later down, when he's talking about the Epic Game Store, he says, as a user of both Steam and the Epic Game Store myself, so you now come across as disingenuous and lying. Is that a lie? Is this a lie? Is this the truth? Is that a lie? When you contradict yourself in the same article, it also causes problems. But then they go off and decide to start telling people how to feel. After they did the touchy-feely stuff, which I said they should be doing. This is what the article should comprise of. Feel free to pause the video and read through it. This is the kind of stuff that needs to be gushing and oozing. But no, they suddenly decide to do a whole bit about getting angry at Epic. We're aware of the backlash that's been hitting games that sign with Epic. I don't expect much of our uniquely lovely community to fit into this weird anti-Epic contingent. So you're now saying if you find anything critical against Epic, you are weird. Which is, again, stupid to say. Why? Because there are plenty of logical reasons to be concerned, worried about the Epic Game Store. From the fact that the architecture is pretty poor on it already. They've had, as they go into later on in this next paragraph, 15 years to learn from people like Steam, as well as other things like GOG, which have sprouted up in the meantime, etc., etc. And yet they still produced a very flimsy game store for people. On top of that, you've got the weird collation of the data from the actual launcher itself, the way that it shares it with Tencent, the way that Tencent shares its data with China, lots of kind of worrying things along those kind of lines as well. And of course, the way that Epic itself is aggressively being anti-consumer. Hello, your audience. They're being anti-consumer. Why? They're going out poaching, as yours is, at least partially to full crowd-funded games. Games which wouldn't exist without people putting the money in to create them. Things like Shenmue 3, which has received over $7 million in crowd-funded money. 300 from Masen. And it's been in crowdfunding since 2015, 6 months before it launches. Nicked it, got 'em. People who have for 4 years believed they've funded a game that is going to be put on the platform that they want is now no longer going to be on that platform for a period of time because Epic Game Store exclusive. other crowdfunded games, Phoenix Point, others that people have funded that wouldn't exist without that funding, now Epic Game exclusive, you're going to have to go through. That's anti-consumer, because they've allowed other people to put their own money in to create that game, allow the creation of that game, believing it's going to be on the platform that they're saying that it's going to be on, and then having them turn around and go, thanks for your money, it's not going to be on what you want anymore. Anti-consumer. So it's not weird by any stretch of the imagination that people are annoyed, frustrated with Epic Games. You don't hear people complaining with the Epic Games Store, particularly, a little bit, but not particularly, tiny amount, about Ubisoft doing exclusives on there. Why? Because that's an open deal with a massive publisher that they've got set in stone. So you know that it's going to go on there. It's this underhided, snide tactics which Epic Games have been using with Metro Exodus. Just a couple of weeks before launch, suddenly it's an Epic Games Store exclusive. So people who rightly have got out of pre-order culture, because that is something that we do need to get rid of, have gone out of pre-order culture, who were going to purchase it on Steam, suddenly couldn't. Because they swooped in at the very last minute, made it an exclusive. Just so happens, of course, that's Quicksilver, the people that deal with Shenmue 3 as well. So underhanded anti-consumer tactics have been used. Then, after we've had his bit of a fibbery foobar, dismisses what people have problems with, doesn't go into the fact, of course, about all the anti-consumer stuff until here, the next paragraph. This is the most common complaint about Epic, but I don't think people have really thought it through. I think I've explained it pretty concisely. I can understand the frustration of having to buy different consoles to play the games you want, although it dismisses that early on, but don't worry about that. But there's no extra cost to using the EGS. It's not about the cost of the launcher. It's about how they are acquiring the games to be exclusive. That is the issue that people have a problem with. Is that discussed here? No, not at all. Goes into a weird discussion about Netflix and Hulu and shit like that. Then says, look, if you want to get mad, this is the real zinger. Hey, if you want to get mad, why don't you get mad about things like climate change? Why don't you get mad about human left abuses? How patronizing and condescending can you be here? Why are you making a video game? You could put all that money that you have generated into climate change, into save the world, save the children, save the dogs, save the cats. Why are you trying to make a It's just stupid. It's a straw man argument that is stupid and pathetic. So this is insanely antagonistic. Then, of course, we have the paragraph. The paragraph. It's also really disappointing to see folks threatening to pirate games just because they can't get it on the game launcher they're used to. Feeling like you're owed the product of other people's work on your terms or else you'll steal it is the epitome of the word entitlement that people use to discuss immature, toxic gamers. This is the announcement that they're going Epic exclusive, and they are just going straight into the entitled, immature, toxic gamer. Don't get mad. I'm telling you, don't get mad. Get mad about these things. Oh, by the way, gamers get mad about everything. This is one of the worst announcements of being an exclusive there can ever be. So, of course, it's going to be massively antagonistic, especially when the CEO of Epic Games, the person who's responsible for these underhanded anti-consumer tactics, like stealing crowdfunded games, comes out in response to community feedback I have reviewed the tone of the Ooblets exclusivity announcement and wish to make the following statement. It was awesome! Throwing more fuel onto the fire. and making it even worse. So, what happens? Epic have now got to come out with an official statement. I know this has gone on for a bit, but we at Epic Games have often shared our view about the game's business and companies in it, and we support the entire game community's right to speak freely and critically about these topics, including the topic of Epic. Oh, thank you. Our products and our store. When everyone shares their earnest views, the best ideas ultimately prevail. That is a great opening paragraph. That really is. That is a true great opening paragraph. They're now going to spend the next 2 paragraphs absolutely contradicting all of this. Okay, so this is the correct paragraph. Yes, we should have the right to speak freely and openly and critically about topics. But now let's get into the hypocrisy side. Let's get into the 180. The announcement of Ooblets highlighted a disturbing trend, which is growing and undermining healthy public discourse. Healthy public discourse being what we want you to say, according to Epic. And that's the coordinated and deliberate creation and promotion of false information, including fake screenshots, videos, and technical analysis. Wait. Technical analysis? False? Oh, okay. Videos? I'm very happy with my video. There wasn't anything incorrect in that video whatsoever. Accompanied by harassment of partners, promotion of hateful themes. Oh, we're into thought police here. And intimidation of those with opposing views. Now, first of all, I absolutely agree that this company shouldn't be harassed. They should just be ignored now. I mean, that's what they should be. It should just be ignored. This person has made it perfectly clear in this statement, doesn't like gamers. And when he follows up his discussion in Discord, gets antagonistic with them. When somebody asked him, I can no longer purchase your product because my country their currency isn't accepted in the Epic Games Store. Another, negative side to the creation of that launcher. To which he said, you're not owed, you're going to have to wait, you're not owed the game. And that was confirmed. That's how the developer wants to respond to his customers. Tough shit. We've got our money from Epic now. We don't care. You're not owed the game in your currency. Well done. Well done. So, whereas I don't agree with harassing people, if they're going to harass you, then you get your licks back in immediately. As regards to fake screenshots, this is something which was apparently taken out of context. At the end of the day, it's open to whoever wants to support the Patreon. We don't need the money from there now, though. No, they don't need the money from there now, though, because they've got Epic Games money. So all the money that people have been giving through Patreon, don't need it anymore. But the context of this was, that comment was in response to a claim that we were scamming Patreon backers by waiting until August the 1st to make the announcement. August the 1st, of course, being the day that the next round of money is taken from Patreons, which is not the case. Well, the statement that they did is actually posted on the 31st of July. So I don't know exactly what time it came out, but it does give people the opportunity, should they have wished to have cancelled their Patreon. But it is very last minute. I will give them that. It is very last minute indeed. However, that says everything, though. We don't need that money anymore. We don't need it. Because they have Epic's money. So regardless of the context of this, or whether or not it was taken out of context, that sentence itself says everything. Regardless of context. Because it's clear that they're saying, we have Epic's money, we don't need yours. Ay chihuahua. We remain fully committed and we will steadfastly support our partners through these challenges. Many thanks to all of you that continue to promote and advocate for healthy, truthful discussion. Thank you. they're talking to me. Because I'm a believer in truthful, healthy discussion, particularly when it comes to how corporations behave towards their customers. So I appreciate the pat on the back there, Epic. About the games business and stand up to all manners of abuse. Absolutely. Thank you again. Wow. You might as well just give me a back rub while we're at it. Manners of abuses like, for instance, stealing crowd-funded games. Like that abuse, yeah? Like taking a game a couple of weeks before launch and getting it quickly signed to an exclusivity deal, cutting off Steam's people's access to Steam purchases from it in such a short period of time because they refused to go into pre-order culture. Was it stuff like that? Yeah? Uh-huh. Okay, good, good. I'm glad we're in agreement. So this statement itself is highly hypocritical. Epic attempting to take the moral high ground when they themselves have caused a lot of these problems by going after crowd-funded projects is why people are getting angry and upset and frustrated that games that they're putting their hard-earned money into to fund, to get into a position of being ready, is being nixed by a billion-dollar corporation to get them more money. And you want to preach morality to people? Get out of it. Epic, you have the opportunity to go into good competition with Steam. You had the opportunity. It's not irreversible, but you had the opportunity to do it in a healthy manner that was both great for developers and also for consumers. You chose not to. You chose instead to blackmail consumers into coming onto your platform. Steam don't have to lower their prices for developers right now at all. Why? Because Epic are constantly shooting themselves in the foot. Epic are building themselves up such a bad reputation with the Epic Games Store, Steam can actually sit back and laugh right now. Because developers are looking at this situation and they're saying, some of them I guarantee you will be saying, look, we better just go onto Steam. Because if we go onto the Epic exclusive, yeah, we're going to get more money. But it's going to be an absolute nightmare. We're probably going to lose customers as opposed to gain customers. Short term, it might be profitable for us. Long term, going forward with future games, could kill us off. So the fault, Epic, lies first and foremost with you and how you handle it. So take your statement on misinformation and abuse, shove it up your ass. So I hope you enjoyed the vid. If you did, do give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel. Follow me on social media and Twitch for live streaming links. They're in the description box down below. And I'll be back with some more stuff very soon. You take care. Bye for now.